everyone, I'm Charlotte Kilpatrick, reporting for Vaccine Nation at the World Vaccine Congress in Washington. I'm delighted that today we're joined by Thad Wolfram of EmVenio Research, who is here with this fantastic vehicle, and we're going to find out a bit more about what they're doing here. So could you firstly introduce yourself and your role within the organization?
Yes, so I'm Thad Wolfram. I'm the president at EmVenio Research. So in that role, I'm overseeing the entire business, running research in communities across the US and moving into Europe.
Fantastic. So this is huge. It's very impressive. It's been drawing crowds. What is it and what does it do?
So this is one of our mobile sites. It's the best way to think about it is this is the same thing as a traditional brick and mortar research site. It's just on wheels. So we've eliminated the barriers of needing to be able to find real estate, the ability to move into any community in the US and expanding internationally, really to help drive research into locations where there are greater bolus of underrepresented populations, underserved populations, and really driving research.
Fantastic. So you've just mentioned underrepresented or underserved populations. Who are these people and how are you engaging them?
Yes, so in terms of underrepresented populations, as we think about minority populations that historically have not been a part of clinical trials in the way that they should be, so that we can generate truly representative data of the population as a whole. The majority of the locations where we are operating, the minority population makes up more than 50% of the population. And so by nature, we're able to interact with those individuals in a way that you otherwise couldn't. The reality is we're going to areas where research isn't being conducted and those populations aren't being engaged, and so we're offering them that opportunity to take part in research. Research only takes place in a small number of geographies, both in the US and outside of the US, and what we're doing is we're going into those research deserts, if you will, and we're helping individuals across all populations that otherwise wouldn't have access to research have that access. And what that really does is it speeds up overall enrollment for studies, which leads to new vaccines and therapeutic treatments reaching the market faster.
Fantastic. So would it be okay if we head inside to have a look?
Yes, let's do that. We either refer to it as a mobile site if it's truly operating mobily, but once we get into a community, we actually commit to being into those communities and we start referring to this as a community research site. So it really becomes a part of a committed base of active research that will take place in those communities over the long term.
Fascinating. I love how the terminology changes to really embed that in the community. So what are some of the features that you're highlighting to our attendees today?
Yeah, the biggest feature, and it becomes real when you step inside of the mobile site, is how much this is exactly like a typical medical facility, just like a traditional brick and mortar site. And that really comes through when you step inside and you realize, there are multiple exam rooms, there are space for individuals to wait, there are restrooms, there's lab space and freezers and refrigerators, and so largely everything you would need to conduct a clinical trial at a stationary brick and mortar space is here. And I think it's those standard features, if you will, that are standard in research. It's helping drive awareness that this can be available in a number of different ways that make it easier to conduct research in places where it otherwise won't happen.
That's great. So you're clearly giving all of our attendees a really good show and a really interactive display. What are you hoping to get from the Congress this year, and what are you hoping to have achieved when you leave?
Yeah, so one of the things that, as I mentioned, is that awareness. It really helps, for us to drive that awareness of our mobile site. But the other thing that happens when we're here, and we have, as you mentioned, crowds coming by and individuals coming in, is they ask great questions. They ask the best questions, and they also offer suggestions. And so you have so many other vendors here that then look at this space and they think about running clinical trials in the community. They think about patient recruitment efforts in those places. And so it really becomes a collaborative conversation with the other attendees around answering questions they have, but also thinking about what are new and different things we could also do with this, either on the site alone or in collaboration with those other businesses to really actually expand the positive impact that this can have in clinical trials.
Fantastic. Well, I hope it's a really fruitful time for you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.